Keys and synths have always been a huge part of popular and indeed unpopular music. I mean, the range of sounds you can get is infinite, from pianos, electric pianos, organs, brass, synth pads, even synth leads. But one thing that's always held the keyboard back as an expressive musical instrument is the lack of expression available to the player. Sure, you can play soft or loud and push and pull the timing of the notes, but apart from that, that's pretty much all you can input as a human being. String players can bend notes and slide, mute, all sorts. Even vocalists have infinitely greater control over their vocal cords and the sounds that they can make. Whilst a lot of people have been okay with this throughout musical history and accepted it as just part of the instrument, there are those who don't want to be confined to the box in which they're placed. Who says you can't have greater expression as a keys player? Well, there's been plenty of keyboards in the past, such as the Roly keyboard, that have attempted to address this, but nothing's really improved upon the original design of a keyboard and given you that option for the expression and human touch within your fingers. Until now. Expressive E, in collaboration with Haken Audio, have just released the Osmose. It looks and feels just like a regular keyboard, however under your finger you have way more options in terms of expression. You can move every single note on the keyboard from side to side, and you can even push down slightly harder than you normally would, or even softer, and it gives you options for expression, whether that be pitch bend from side to side, allowing you to sort of vibrato notes, or push down harder on the notes to unlock an envelope or a bit of a greater sound variance. All of this can be done by the touch of your hand and your own personal expression. And unlike anything that's come before it, it still fundamentally looks and feels like a normal keyboard, just with an added quirk of expression. We were lucky enough to have Tom Lewis from Source Distribution come down with an early sample of the keyboard to our shop in Brighton, where he gave us all a little demo of the capabilities of the instrument and answered a few questions that you guys might have about the keyboard.
The Osmose is a new type of expressive polyphonic synthesizer that has a really unique keybed and a really unique sound engine to complement that unique keybed. Expressive E are well known for their expressive hardware in the Touche and their expressive software with Lyé and all of the other packages that have released along with that. And their sort of ethos is to provide expression for more advanced instruments. So whilst analog instruments have remained fairly similar over the years, software has progressed, but the way that we play them has always stayed the same. So it's always been on-off switches. Where this keyboard differs is that it gives you a greater range of control compared to anything else on the market. So to give you an example of that, you have initial pressure, you have a second level of pressure, then you have pitch bend left to right. So it gives you polyphonic pressure control and also pitch control on a per note basis. Where the Osmose differs to other MP instruments, something like the Roly or maybe the Linstrument or something like that, those instruments were always designed with sort of alternative input methods. So an alternative MIDI control, so MPE, with a sort of alternative playstyle. So with the Roly you had like the rubberized keys, with the Linstrument it was kind of like an LED matrix, and whilst those have their merits, they didn't really respect the playing skills that pianists, keyboardists, synthesists, and even someone like myself that's terrible at keys has built up over that time. So what this really does compared to other instruments is it gives you that new playing experience, but it also respects the skills that you've developed over time.
So that's a little bit more about the keyboard, but what do keys players actually think of it? Well, we got some of our more keys and synth savvy staff to come and have a little go on it, and we filmed their first impressions of the keyboard. As well as me, I'm not really much of a keys and synth player, I just really wanted to have a go. Going to revolutionise synth solos, that's for sure. Not having to go to the modulation and just having vibrato on tap is... I'm very excited to hear what someone actually good is going to be like with this.
It's quite a soft keyboard, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's something quite fluid about it, isn't there? Like, it was like playing, as if it was like on a waterbed or something. Little changes like that really easily. Yeah, it's nice to have the extra expression for sure.
Wonky. Press it down to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can wobble it. Ooh.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a instant film soundtrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
So I see what you mean by the fretless things. It's like when you first play slide guitar, you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ooh,
so,
like
yeah.
notes are a
Yeah,
bit
right,
wobbly, but
yeah.
you get used to it. So expressive, that's hence the name, I guess.
Yeah. So the synth engine, it's very, very deep. So to complement this very powerful keyboard technology, Expressive E have actually teamed up with Haken Audio. So Haken Audio are a manufacturer of alternative instruments, so the Continuum Mini. They are also behind the synth engine inside of this synth, which is called the Haken Matrix. So the Haken Matrix is an incredibly powerful digital modular synthesizer, which has everything from physical modeling to waveguide to additive to subtractive synthesis, all distilled into this very powerful, slightly complex editing suite. So what the synth engine, or rather the input method here on the left gives you, is a kind of macro level control of all the patches. So you will find traditional kind of controls, but more often you're not going to find like a cutoff or an envelope or something like that, because you have the expressive nature. You don't need envelopes, your fingers are the envelopes. So the synth engine is displayed as macros, and the macros give you control over many different things. They are different per patch, so on a kind of sound designer level you build your patch and you provide the user with the macros that they need to control that patch. So this particular sound that I've got here, you've got control over the timbre, the amount of noise, the sub-octave, the modulation, and then also you have the amount of chorus. You can control all that manually, and you can basically play with the sounds, and if you get the sound to a point that you like, you can save it as a user preset as well. But on the whole, the control scheme is designed to interact with the patch as if it's an instrument. So you have a limited amount of controls because you have so much expressivity available on the keyboard itself. This keyboard will appeal to any level of synthesist, keyboardist, pianist. So I've been taking this around to kind of studios of score writers, people that are doing kind of soundtracks. I've been taking it around to see kind of more run-of-the-mill kind of synthesists, people that are really into that sort of stuff. And we've had some of the GAT guys today that are like de facto pianists play this as well. So because it does have that sort of traditional input method, it is going to appeal to everyone. And whilst the sounds that you've heard in this video are a bit more kind of traditional synth sound, I'll give you an example very quickly of something that isn't traditional at all, just to give you an idea of the different kind of sounds that are available in it. So you can totally imagine that in kind of like a kind of score or a piece of music, that kind of thing. It's not, whilst it can do trad synth sounds, where its strengths for me are in the kind of physical modelling capabilities and emulating acoustic instruments.
So there you have it. That was the Osmose Keyboard from Expressive E and Haken Audio. I honestly think this is going to appeal to a very wide range of different types of keys players and composers and producers all over the world. I think especially people who play a lot of synth leads and limited a little bit by the expression that they have available to them, they want to be playing their searing leads and not have to be stretching over to mod wheels and pitch bend wheels in order to manipulate the sound. Now it's all under finger. What do you guys think though? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you're local to Brighton and fancy trying one out for yourselves, we're going to have one on display for demo throughout March. So if you're interested, it's very worth checking out. Even if you're not, it's really fun. Trust me. Anyway, thanks so much to Tom for coming down with the keyboard and giving us a little look, and for you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to see more things like this, and we will see you very soon.